Isn't there like certain coaches when they said they play football, you go, huh, different time.
When we come back, we find out if Don Shula played against any black people. might be the greatest tease in show history.
So amazing.
You want to know something? I don't remember. I don't recall the answer.
The comment was enough.
Yeah, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is one that, like, when you tell me he played football,
didn't Jerry
like,
Jones and Jimmy Johnson play on the same team?
They both played for Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a offensive lineman.
Crazy.
I'm like, hey man, I can't see it.
I'm looking at it right now. Jerry Jones. He's got a jersey on. He looks like a football player. You know, I mean, like, you know, one of those football players who went and got a sody pop afterwards, but a football player nonetheless.
It's 60 years ago.
It is. It is.
So he played football before I was born. I wonder what that football looked like.
He was co-captain of the Arkansas 1964 national football team. He was an offensive lineman for Frank Broyles. And yes, he was a college football teammate of Jimmy Johnson. Now they hate each other.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
You know, you know what that is? That was nothing more than egos.
An ego, yeah.
Because Jimmy wanted to get credit for the success, but we all knew Jimmy Johnson was the guy. Right? And like, yeah. So he's
still doing it. He did it to his son recently, where he's just like, my son Steven took Taco Charlton. I'm the one who took Parsons.
Yeah.
I was like, jeez.
Right. Now, of all the owners, would you think that he's the most qualified to make football decisions?
Pretty good. I mean, yeah, he's got an actual football resume.
Okay.
You know, I guess.
They don't treat
I would venture to guess that most people, like, if you ask most casual people, they don't know that he played football. They just think that he's just an old rich guy.
Because whatever he did in life was done before most of us were born.
That's
yes, why.
The 1964 champions.
Right. So, like, that was 4 years before I was born.
Dade South wonders, do you think Jerry Jones peed himself on the field? No, but I'm pretty sure he's peeing himself in the luxury box now. Excuse me, darling, I need a changing. They're powdering Jerry Jones in the back of the luxury box.
They just put him up on the table and dust him up like a baby.
Just has his ankles in the air. It's a billionaire we're talking about, right?
Hey, well, first of all,
if I was
that ain't
old.
cool, because the last person that got that almost got in trouble.
Yeah, well,
last owner that tried to get his undercarriage cleaned.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't trying to. Yeah, but that wasn't for hygiene. That was for pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he got a little dust up on the way out. He had to go all the way to a football game.
You might be right. But
or he could shower up on the plane. You know, some of these planes have showers and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure he's got the best plane of all time. But anyway, so Spo is out there with McCoach, couple geniuses, you know. Now, like, one's a credential genius and one is an unproven genius, but two geniuses nonetheless.
Okay. Like yeah. And this is not a knock on Mike McDaniel, but that's almost disrespectful to Spo.
No, but I think
he's been through to put them in the same movie.
I think Spo. I remember Spo and Flores like saying they were going to meet, but I don't know if we ever publicly saw them because there was a pandemic. If they ever did, so for him to make it out to Dolphins camp, because he's done this before, like he goes out to Pete Carroll, and I feel like he was Chip Kelly's friend.
A lot of coaches do that. I've had.
Oh, you know who he goes to? Because of the Seattle connection. He likes the Falcons coach Quinn,
right?
Former Falcons coach.
We would have coaches that come out, like a lot of the local colleges, but when I was in Cleveland, Lenny Wilkins was the head coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you talking about royalty, and then Bill coming in.
They'll let him hang out?
I don't know. I know he never came to practice. Like I got a chance to meet him. He was cool. He was cool because he did it at every level. Played. Is he still the all-time winners coach, or did Pop take him over?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Had
But
a
I
lot
feel
of
like
success.
McCoach and I feel like Spo would get along because like they're both
Very
kind of
similar type of like
unheralded,
right.
college athletes. One went to Yale, one went to the University of Portland. Spo is a film guy. McCoachin was a ball boy. Working their way up the ranks.
But I've seen it all the time. Like I tell the story all the time. Eric Mangini and Scott Pioli were the guys that held up the cards for scout team.
Yeah, but McCoachin can look at Spo because and he's like, hey, I'm a top 15er. You think Spo? Do you think like Spo's guy? Do you think Spo has a handler? Like he's pretty famous now.
No,
No, you think he just walks up
it's one of the
cash?
things that makes Spo.
He looks like he could have just gone from the gym because he's still wearing that Miami Heat three-quarter sleeve hoodie,
really
dry fit hoodie. He looks like he just walked out of practice.
Right. But
Chris
Spo,
Paul,
like even every interaction with Spo is very personable, very personal. So I would imagine he does not have a handler.
Nah, it's Quinn. I'm telling you.
You think Chris Quinn's his handler?
Walks
I
around
can't
everywhere.
see that. Chris Quinn's a pretty intense guy.
Yeah. Not a good handler, but
He's got to be intense to fight off all those naysayers. Shaq.
Yeah.
I feel like if Spo has like a handler, like it's I don't know, it's like Todd the intern. Gets Mr. Spolstra, Mr. Spolstra, can I get you coffee? This is what you serve Jeter? Before we left.
Todd the intern, he should be about ready for a coaching job, right? He'd have interned in every sport.
I gotta say,
Mr. Jeter,
I gotta say, yesterday was maybe my favorite McCoachin press conference of all time.
What happened?
He was just in his bag. He was in his McCoachin bag yesterday. Now he did not speak before he did not speak after Spo was there. He spoke before, just so reference. So he doesn't have any references to that. But would you like to hear him being confused by the media wanting him to announce playing time for people?
Hold on, let me get ready.
Here is Mike McDaniel just being very confused by the media wanting him to announce something.
Should I have an announcement? I think tomorrow there's a birthday tomorrow. I just read it. There's a player's birthday. I should announce that. I should announce that my wife went to the grocery store, which was exciting because I'm a big snack time guy. Outside of that, I would like to announce that I'm very excited for practice, as you guys should be, because it's an opportunity for both sides of the ball to respond to things that they weren't happy with the previous day.
I think maybe he was referring to like the rotation of players.
Oh!
Starters.
Still working through it.
Oh, sorry, guys.
You know what? That's perfect. You know why? Because sometimes they ask questions and you have every right to ask the question. Like who's going to play what or whatever, right? And sometimes they ask those questions knowing they're not going to get an answer. But I like the way he just kind of ignored the question, then didn't answer the question.
Like he goes, I'd like to announce my wife. She went to a grocery store. I'm a big snack time person.
He also made his wife sound like a hobbit, like she never leaves the house, right? I have an announcement. The wife took the car to the grocery store.
I would like to know more about McCoachin's snack habits.
Oh, he looks like a snacker, right?
He does look like a snacker.
He looks like he got a piece of hard candy in his pocket right now. You know those. I can totally see. Everybody's like, man, when are we eating? And somebody pulls out something out of their pocket.
I definitely can see McCoachin like calling some plays with some Cool Ranch in his hand. Just like, let's just see how this goes.
It's like, and two is like, hey, Coach
is crunching in my headset.
And he probably responds, "Hey, I know this guy Leroy. He does a whole damn show. What are you talking about? It's just a couple of seconds."
I got the idea.
Attaboy.
I like the way
man.
I like the way he like because Bill Belichick is very dismissive also. But the way they're dismissive is so different. Like Bill gets irritated. Like
Some guy says the
Good luck,
guy
guys.
in
we do this every year.
Yeah.
Okay. We figure out during the course of the week what we need work on, and then we figure out who's gonna play and how long they're gonna play. It's Wednesday. Right? Like so irritated.
just it's like you're wasting my time.
Right. And my coach is like, hey, you waste my time, I'm gonna waste your time with some gibberish.
We'll get some more McCoachin coming on up back after this. Pretty
Attaboy.
I love him, man.
Please don't suck.
I know.
Please don't
God,
suck.
that would be so disappointing.
Please don't suck. You ever root for it? Like, God, I really hope this works out. You know? I feel like it's gonna go one of two ways.
Yeah,
Everybody's
we
gonna
did
be-
that with the last coach.
with Flores.
There's nobody that had any ill will towards him.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. It was afterwards when everybody's like, you know, we mean
Yeah,
the
but-
two, you didn't give him a
but-
Christmas
but-
card.
Like I don't necessarily try to after the fact go back and
But-
figure out why I shouldn't like him.
No, but like McCoachin, if he's not good, I feel like people are gonna chew him up. You know, like yesterday, I kind of found a demeaning question when somebody asked, "Are you a yeller? Like, do you yell?" I'm like, "Of course he yells. Like, he doesn't yell." But then his answer
Football.
didn't. But then his answer didn't really help because he goes, "Oh, I get after it." And I'm just,
Here's the problem, right? Everybody knows that football, of all the sports, is the most negative reinforced sport
Mhm.
because your success, that's the only sport where your success has to be as close to 100% as possible. You look at basketball, you shoot 40%, you're an all-star. You
From
look
three.
at baseball, you bat over 300, you're a Hall of Famer. Okay? If you had those percentages in football, your ass would be doing a show with us.
You shoot 40% from the field. You probably playing in China.
What do you mean?
If you're shooting like 40%, if you're saying you shoot 40%, you mean from three.
Yeah.
40% from the field.
I mean,
Get his
40% from three.
Send his ass to Sioux Falls. Get that shot right.
But so it's weird that somebody would ask the question with the single-handed most negative reinforced sport. Does he yell?
You want to hear?
You know who's the last person who didn't yell? Cam Cameron.
Would you like to hear his response to if he yells?
Yes. I'm scared. Because I just went out on the, you know what I mean? He's gonna say something that's just going.
Here's Mike McDaniel.
I don't enjoy yelling, but you have to do what you have to do to let them know exactly the urgency of the moment. But I've always philosophically thought that, like, if you pick and choose those moments, then that state that you don't really like to be in, it is purposeful. You know, I just know from my personal experience, at some point in time, if you're just yelled at consistently all the time, then the yelling sounds like normal talking. I won't hesitate, nor have I hesitated. You could ask some of the players. I will have a temper from time to time.
Well, I believe you, man.
Hey,
Calm down.
So you're not gonna believe this.
Mm.
Guess who wasn't a yeller?
Belichick.
No, but I think Belichick didn't yell. He was yelling, but his voice didn't yell.
He doesn't
Right?
have the-
You know
he
what
doesn't
I
have that
mean?
volume.
Like he was mad and you could see that he was angry, but he's like, fellas, right? Like look, fellas, we could be out here all night, but we're gonna get this right. That was, but everybody knew what was up.
See Mike McDaniel as like one of the.
How about this? Denny Green, not a yeller.
Wait, they are who we thought they were. Is not a yeller.
How about this?
Really?
Besides that, I only heard him yell one time in practice.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
And guess what? Practice was going so bad. Then he blew the whistle and just yelled, "You gotta be bleeping kidding me!" Right? And we were like,
Whoa.
because the way Denny operated was, if he saw something that need to improve with the running backs, he wouldn't come to you. He would go to your coach, right? And the coach would handle it. He didn't really, he wasn't, he talked to the team and everything, but he wasn't one of those guys to step in
Right.
like that. But unless the overall mood or the overall production was bad.
I just like the fact that he's threatening us with, "Oh, I got a temper from time to time." Oh, calm down.
Like, but don't you have to have a certain demeanor? Like a guy in aviator shades that weighs $145.
I
When
feel like
he yells, are you going to take him serious?
I feel like the move is he takes off the sunglasses
And gives the stare.
and gives the.
But now all of
and
a sudden he's a damn rock.
he's just
He
like,
does the eye thing. Like, listen, I think his personality, like, you can have a certain personality, and when you deviate from that, everybody knows you're mad. Right? And I think that's what it is. It's not necessarily that he yells, but his tone, everybody can sense a sense of urgency. And that's all you really need.
Dade South says that's what the coach is talking about. More effective if you do it sparingly. Yeah, like Dan Campbell, I can feel like his volume. Oof. All right, Dan, we get it.
Oof.
Well,
I'm a big snack time guy.
What do you think? What do you think? A coach, like, there's certain things that coaches say where he's a yeller, like being better than a one-legged man in an ass kicking contest.
Yeah.
When the coach says that, he's pretty much a yeller.
You mean? Oh yeah, you mean when it doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek or three toes,
right? Which sometimes coaches that yell,
and then
they yell stuff that make no sense, and then everybody's chuckling in the back.
No, but Man Campbell's default is he's got intense yeller and then crying. So he goes, "I just care about you guys so much."
Hey,
This guy cries
there's
a lot.
there's no in between, right?
What do you expect from a guy who has like nine like ounces of like caffeine with a Red Bull mix? What was that like concoction that he put together last year?
Man, I think it's like 5 cups of coffee or something.
Yeah,
like that.
he like, first of all, that guy, I mean, his morning on the can has got to be brutal.
Oh, God.
Second of all, I mean, he's just going through life just teetering. And then it just hits crying if they're not doing what he wants.
Two
You
large
think,
iced coffees.
Once that coffee wears off, that he just like collapses, like just because the high was so high and the energy was so high that he's one of those guys that need to take a nap.
McCochin looks like he has a hammock in his office that nobody knows about.
Yeah. And
So like
he's listening to
Whales.
calming music.
He's listening to the calming music or ocean sound.
Yanni. He's in
Yeah.
there listening to Yanni on his hammock, and he takes like a 15-minute power nap.
Yep. And that's
I'm a
it.
big snack time guy.
That's our
with a
coach.
bag of chips on his chest.
McCochin's rating catering every day.
Hey,
We got today.
every coach that I knew had nap time
You know, I feel like you have to.
because they're there all the time.
Yeah, you would be if you didn't have nap time watching that much film. Like you would go nuts.
I mean, they could do like I do when I watch TV. I just let nature take over.
Just sleepy poo.
Oh yeah, golf. You can watch golf and fall asleep and get up, and you don't miss nothing because they keep showing replays. I remember one time I got up, dude was holding the trophy. I was like, wow, he wasn't even leading.
Dade South says McCochin eats goldfish. I could see it.
It's a snack that smiles back.
By the way, not a big fan of goldfish.
I don't think anybody's number one choice is goldfish. I just think when you have children, it's just there.
Because
Nah.
the other thing is that their shelf life is very short. Like, so
Yes.
if you don't eat
Oh,
the
they
bag,
get- yeah.
if you don't eat the bag, it's like not Cheetos, but what's the Cheez-Its?
Yeah.
If you don't eat them when you open up the original packaging,
it's donezo.
If you go back, mush.
Yep.
I don't
need
understand.
goldfish
We
out
can
of,
invent a whole bunch of stuff. There, I saw something on TV now. They're building supersonic jets again, right?
What?
Yeah, a supersonic jet to go. What did it say? It goes 1.5 times the speed of something crazy. Like,
Sounds like you got the details.
no,
American
I
Airlines.
didn't get the particulars, but I just saw the supersonic jet.
American
right?
Airlines
It's a
buys
big old
20 of them.
Oh, so
Yeah.
this is for commercial flying?
I guess
Yeah.
so, dude.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I trust it though.
Yeah, but how about this? It's a big old giant plane, and only 85 people fit in it. So you know that ain't nothing but speed and jets and engine and fuel.
JFix says when I worked at the swim school, goldfish #1 choice of snack for parents and children.
I'm telling you, I don't eat it just out of
you can't
principle.
mix a goldfish near water.